All of us reach a point in time where we are depleted and need to somehow find a way to reignite the fire within. But how do we spark that flame? Welcome to Reignite Resilience, where we will venture into the heart of the human spirit. We'll discuss the art of reigniting our passion and strategies to stoke our enthusiasm. And now, here are your hosts, Natalie Davis and Pamela Cass.
Welcome back to another episode of Reignite Resilience. I'm your co-host, Natalie Davis, and I'm so excited to be back with all of you. And joining me is your co-host, Pam Cass. Hello, Pam. How are you?
I am fantastic. I started sharing a story with you this morning that
Yes.
we had somebody reach out to me about our book, and this is somebody I went to high school with. So I have not talked to her or seen her since, I'm going to age myself, 1989. And she reached out about doing it as an audiobook for us. And so I met with her today. And so she's going to read a chapter, do a recording, and then send it to us because she does voiceovers. She's done about 20 books. And so it was just so fun to have somebody come back into my world that I have not seen in a very long time. And
That's exciting. Okay, so I am curious to hear because initially you were thinking that you were gonna do the recording yourself, and
yeah,
I was like, good on you. Um,
yeah, and until she said, "Well, I'd be happy. Let me kind of coach you through what you need to do." And then she started talking about all the different things, and you need to give 0.5 seconds after this, and then 3 seconds after this, and when you say this, you need to do. And I was like, I'm just gonna pause you right there. I don't think so, but thank you very much. So, yeah, so we're gonna have her record. She does all the editing. She does all of the uploading into the platform for Audible, and she does all the marketing of the book. And so it's like she's gonna
that's
send us a
amazing.
recording of one of our chapters, and it was just so fun to reconnect with somebody and from the past.
I
And
was just gonna say that. I was gonna say, like, coming full circle, like you went to high school with this person, and that's where their professional path took them. And to come across your book as well. I mean, because apparently you're still connected, or at least in each other's lives in some way, shape, or form. But then to have this opportunity to work together,
very
after
cool.
all these years, we're not gonna age you.
Yeah.
We won't say how many years it's been. It's fine.
Girl,
It's
that's a
fine.
89. They can do the math. They can, they can do the math. And she lives in Denver, so I'm hoping that I can
That's
at some
great.
point reconnect with her. So yeah,
That
very
is
cool.
so great. I love it. Well, then more things to come with the book. And you all, I'm going to remind you at the end of this recording as well to make sure that you get a copy of the book. You can find it on Amazon, either as an ebook or paperback or hardback now. So we do have a hard copy and paperback and ebook. So download one of those, purchase one of those, and then wait until the Audible is available and do it again.
And, and then let us know how you like it. I think that's the biggest one.
That is the
Let
big
us know how you
piece.
like it. So
Definitely leave us feedback. We need to hear the feedback. And so far, it's been great.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
love it. Well, today we're not talking about the book. I know that we talked about the book a couple of episodes ago. We're not talking about the book today. We are gifted with a guest today, and I'm so excited. Pam, why don't you tell our listeners who's joining us today?
Yeah, I am excited about this one. So today we have Dr. Christiana Schroeder. She is a TEDx speaker, business and wellness coach, professor, and best-selling author. She created Petite Practice, a framework that helps professionals achieve lasting success through small strategic actions. As a host of the top 1% globally ranked podcast, Happy Healthy Hustle, she shares practical tools for clarity, resilience, and sustainable business growth. With a PhD in health economics and over 15 years of experience in marketing and innovation, Christiana empowers entrepreneurs to work smarter, scale faster, and lead with clarity and confidence. Welcome. We are so honored to have someone with your criteria. I'm just like it just kept coming, all of the things that you have done. And so welcome and yeah, share some of your path to what's gotten you to where you are today.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you can, first of all, thanks so much for having me here, Pamela and Natalie. This is truly an honor. And audience, hello and welcome. I'm really glad I'm here. As you can hear from my accent, I actually came here from Germany. And that's also like really what my coaching combines. I have that European structure, a little bit of the Parisian pizzazz. You can hear there's the Petite Practice. I'm like very much attuned with like little French things and that little chic. And that's, I'm like a very bubbly person in general. But I also really appreciate this American healthy hustle culture, right? So I want to preface this with saying healthy because I'm a firm believer that if we work hard and we plan smart, then we can really accomplish great things. And that's some of the things I'm going to share on this fantastic episode here today. So, audience, this is going to be a good one. Yeah.
Well, I
I
can
love that. Well,
wait.
that's quite the combo. Let you
Yes.
talk about like the German structure, which we know like that
Yes.
exists outside of stereotypes that exist. I don't care what you think about it. There's structure
Yes.
there. And then the healthy hustle, plus a little sprinkle of the Parisian style. I
Yes.
love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like the ooh la la of some sort.
I love
Mhm.
Yeah.
How did you discover this? How did you discover this combo? Because it's one that's unique and it's one that's impactful because of the work that you're doing. How did you come together with these three?
Well, I think that for me, living in Germany, I always felt like there's something else out to discover. And deep down, we sometimes have that. I might label it superpower. You might label it inner calling, deeper voice, inner voice, who knows what. You just feel like there's something else I really would like to do. And I would encourage the audience to really tap into that, discovering your superpower, because then you really start sharing with the world what you're meant to do. I
Mhm.
mean, now I love that you write this bio, but all these things really wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have discovered my superpower. Not to say that I wouldn't have been amazing if I would have stayed in Germany, but I probably would have taken a different path. So I really felt like, okay, I gotta go and explore the world, learn more languages, go to graduate school, and really start tapping into what gives me joy, what gives me passion. And I think that, as I say, the audience, I
Mhm.
have a quiz on my website that's called Discover Your Superpower, which tells you how much aligned you are with knowing who you really are and what your value really is in the world. And that's really what happened. So I figured out, okay, I'm passionate about teaching, I'm passionate about learning. And when I discover things that I really feel are like groundbreaking, earth-shaking, I can convey them in a way that are really fun. So I always, when you look at my books in the background, I always think about, okay, what is like a really creative way of conveying learning instead of just writing it out page by page and filling a book with just words? What's like another way that I can tap into a learning style? And I
Mhm.
think that's really my superpower, that I think how we are all created differently, but how can I maybe appeal to audiences in still making learning fun and still leading them to the way that they can share their value with the world? That's my superpower. I really want to tap into that, and I really want to feel like you are making your corner of the best, corner of the world the best that it can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the moment when you realized what your superpower was? Was there a significant thing that happened, or was it just kind of, you share that?
Yeah, I remember that, frequently when we had friends over in Germany, I always felt I'm a really good listener, that
Mhm.
I can tune in with making them feel special when
Mm.
I talk to them, because I listen to what they say and I ask follow-up questions. So it's always a curious person, not in a way of being nosy, but curious in a way of getting to know somebody. So I'm a really good interviewer in a way that I want to get to know somebody. And I think that's why I'm mentioning the discovering your superpower, because sometimes I discover the superpower before the person themselves actually realizes what it is.
Oh,
Wow.
Which is
That's
pretty amazing, right? Yeah, it's like that's a good skill to have, but it's because I'm
yes.
asking the right questions and I'm showing curiosity. And we sometimes are not curious about ourselves. We just kind of become content with who we are. And
mm.
we get so busy and always looking forward, but we don't really look inward, right?
Mhm.
That's really the magic. You need to stop and pause for a moment and think like, does it really give me joy? And why does it give me joy? And then you're getting closer to what you really meant to do. What do people say about you when you're not in the room? That's your superpower. And if
Mm.
they don't say anything, you need to tap more into it.
Um, or if you think they don't say anything because they are saying something,
I
unless they're
know.
saying nothing at all. Like it didn't leave an impression at all. Yes. Wow.
Exactly. That's very smartly said. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So, where did you go once you've discovered this? You
Mm,
discovered the superpower that you have. We
mm,
heard in your bio you are a woman that wears many hats. You are after our own hearts. Pam and I do the same. We wear many hats. But where did you begin? What did this
mhm.
journey start like for you?
Yeah, so I'm always a learner and an educator at the same time. And I think the two go hand in hand. If you learn something that you're really passionate about, you can become the person that is becoming a great educator because you can teach us to us in a way that you discovered it. Like you're showing the transformation in your description yourself. It's like, oh, before I knew this, I did that. But now that I know this, I actually do that. And that's really like the best brands in the world. They do that storytelling element that
Mhm.
is so important in our life. So when I came to the United States, I was already super passionate about business and I had worked with some food companies in Germany in merchandising. So I had that health passion, but I also knew I wanted to do some kind of selling, sales, marketing element with it. And that's really happened when I wrote my dissertation about health economics, because I felt a lot of the healthy products are advertised as just that, as healthy, and that doesn't always sound like it's very tasty. So
Mhm.
I felt, well, what else would make people buy a certain food product? Maybe we need to change the price of some of these healthier food products, and maybe they're just too expensive. Or
Mhm.
maybe we need to create some other signals in the market. And that's really how one thing came to the next thing, that I started learning more about how consumers think and how they make choices, and then the choices becoming in a better communication tool for companies. So really that two-way street. What do consumers want and need? And how do companies read this information and creating better food products?
Mhm.
And that's really deep down my passion. I'm like totally in tune with trends, and in my innovation and entrepreneurship classes, I help students create companies that align with trends. I work with clients
Mhm.
that figure out really like, how can I make my business thrive and scale without getting burned out? So there's that wellness piece right there. So that's really how it then became. It became this merger of business coaching and wellness coaching, this happy middle right there.
It's all kind of connected. Very
Exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's such a powerful, which is why you're superpower, and you've discovering this and then now teaching future generations to do the same. But when you're
Mhm.
able to identify what people need and then what they want, because they're not necessarily one and the same, and then making sure that the companies, these organizations and companies can provide that where it has to speak to what
Mhm.
they want but actually provide what they need. It's a very I want to say that it's a very calculated dance that you are entering into. And then the fact that you're creating these companies or helping students create companies that speak to the trends again for the
Beautiful.
needs and the wants.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And what I like is how you're pointing out that it's a dance. I
Mhm.
actually have this saying where it's like saying like sometimes it's a salsa where it's like really upbeat, and sometimes it's a slow waltz.
Yeah.
But you always have to be kind of like in tune with the market. You have to read the market. And again, coming back to that listening element that I mentioned, you
Mhm.
have to listen to consumers, and you also have to listen to companies, really. Always listen first and then speak. And that will really be the best recipe for success. And also, of course, in your personal life, right?
Hmm. That's both business and personal
Yeah.
advice that you have right there.
Exactly. Exactly.
Which
And it's coming very back to like the whole resilience piece. But
mm,
Pamela, go ahead, please.
well, can you
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about the petite practices?
Mhm.
Mm.
Share with us, when did that kind of come into the picture and how do you teach that and Just give us a little more about that.
Yeah, I thought I'm actually writing a book about how I discovered it. And I had to, after I get my TEDx talk, where I very much talk about Petite Practice, I really started thinking, like, when did I start thinking about Petite Practice? And in
Mhm.
my TEDx talk, I mentioned one instance where I really use a Petite Practice, which in essence is just a small step
Yep.
toward your goal, right? So it's small, petite, and then practice, meaning it's a step towards your goal.
Mhm.
So I started thinking, like, when did that really come about? And I thought so many of these routines and rituals that I even used in Germany were anchored just right around that and small little things that made me who I am today.
Mhm.
And that also ties in again with that superpower, because the superpower is not just what people see on the outside, it's also deep down inside your value system, the culture you grew up with, the values that your family instilled on you. So
Mhm.
for me, it was like, spending time with my grandma, and the fact that I did this. Like German clockwork, right? I went there every Monday at 3:30, spending time with my grandma, and she already had it all set up for me, like the special cup that I like to drink off and the special plate that I like to eat from. So think about this. These are like small things, like setting up the table in a certain way. But
Mhm.
then it still brings joy because it's very meaningful. It shows I care and I love you and I was looking forward to this. So if
Mhm.
you're eating dinner and you're just like the you can make it special with your own petite practice, and you can get out like some nice dinnerware. Or you
Mhm.
can maybe put on a candle or put some nice music on. And all these are petite practices. And that's essentially really how I started leading my life from very early on, and how people always taught me to look at things. Like
Yeah.
there's always an on and off button in your mind that you can just, I call it flip the switch. And
Mhm.
sometimes it's just looking at a situation that seems very mundane and ordinary, but then you look at all these small little elements that are special. And that's what the petite practice is all about. It's just turning something small into something meaningful that creates momentum.
Oh, I like that idea of creating something special. Because, like you
Mhm.
said, and we're getting into business planning season for us, where we'll start doing that with agents and companies. And it's like it can get very mundane, those same things. But if you can make it a petite practice, make it something special, how I just see how people would
Yeah.
want to do that more. So I love that. I love that.
Yeah. And I also want to, like, right behind me, if you're watching the video, you see the cover of my Discovery Superpower book.
Yep.
I made the cover intentionally so that the top of the tree is just as big as the roots of the tree.
Mm.
So your superpower is not just by thinking what you like to do on a daily basis, but it's also what is it really that was a moment in my life that I felt really created something very significant, like a life-changing moment,
Mhm.
to where I really feel like when I think back, what's the earliest time I can remember in my life? What did I do then? Who was with me? Like these moments, those are the roots of the tree because they shaped who you are. And if you can remember the moments, sometimes they are the best ideas that you might get for your company or for your product, because sometimes they're those moments of transformation that really happened at that time.
I love that.
That's great. And is it a singular superpower or do we have many superpowers?
That's a beautiful question. Yeah, I mean, of course, in general, superpowers change. I
Okay.
mean, that's just how we are, right? Like what you might be amazing in whatever in your 20s and your 30s may be different from in your 40s and your 50s, and that's great. The goal is just you're aligning yourself with it, and it could even be based on the season. Sometimes you like to hang out with people, and your superpower is networking, and then sometimes you're more like I'm like totally people out and I just want to be reading and absorbing material and more digesting all of it. And that's great too. So the superpower itself is already that you're becoming more aligned with who you really are, and or realigning
Mm.
yourself what
Mm.
you really are. And then for me, the most important thing, Natalie, is the confidence you gain with it.
Mm.
So no matter what your superpower is, once you know it, you're becoming more confident just in the way that you show up, in the way that you speak.
Hmm.
in the way that you use your skills during the day in your business. And that is really why we are going after all this, why discovering your superpower is magic. Because a lot of people are like, well, look, I'm running my business to make money. And then I say, so what?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, what makes it special?
Yeah.
And the special is really what differentiates you, what a customer will seek out, the value that they're really seeking. And that's kind of like what we're getting at here. That superpower element could be even in your brand, that you anchor in your brand around the values, and that over time you just become crystal clear what makes you special and differentiated. And maybe those values even evolve as your brand evolves.
Mm.
That's huge. And that alignment, I'd love to just dive into just one small piece, because when we talk about that alignment, it's not who we're aspiring to be, it's who we
Mm-mm.
are.
Beautiful. Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually somebody just told me about that the other day. They were like, "Oh yeah, so you're German like Heidi Klum," and I said, "Yeah, I mean, I guess she's from Germany, you know," and that's great.
Yes.
But always think like it's great when we look at the comparison game.
Hmm.
Yes.
In reality, though, look at it as really something that you're you, and there's nobody else like you, right? So make people aware of like what makes you uniquely you, and then really educate them about it, and really feel that sometimes people don't really know what exactly to ask you, or like the questions are the
That's
same. So
it.
what do you do and things, and then just like
Hmm.
ask them questions,
Yes.
make them comfortable with sharing who they are, and just through a conversation build that bridge. One of my favorite games and audience, this is one of my little secrets to networking, is figuring out what you have in common with a person, right?
Mm.
I call it actually the Kevin Bacon game.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
like the six
because
degrees. Is that yes?
exactly, that's
yes.
the game. I have it in my in both of my books, in the How to Master Your Goals book and in the Discover Your Superpower book, where I actually have my clients do that game. I give them like 5 minutes, and there's a roster in those books, and it basically says, all right, you don't know any of these people here on the Zoom call, or if I do an in-person meeting, but I would like that within 5 minutes, you find three commonalities, and then you're going to introduce those other people on your team with the commonalities. And you will not believe what they uncover. Because first of all, they have a time, right? And I'm like pretty ambitious about it, like 5 minutes, you got this team. But secondly, at first, if I would have said just introduce yourself, and it would have been just like the shallow surface. But now remember what I talked about with the tree, really digging down. And we are like, then I also say extra credit for creativity, right? And then they're like, oh my gosh, become creative now. And then if I did funniest commonalities. It's unbelievable, right? And it's just so good. But that's really how you align yourself with it. And that's also one thing how you can quickly break the ice. And, speaking of like your business, that's really what your business most of the time needs, just more networking and getting the word out about it.
Yeah, building that connection through that
Mhm.
common thread.
Yep.
So I love that. And to be able to do that on Zoom. I mean, I've been in workshops where we've done it in person, but Zoom's a whole different, um,
Mhm.
but powerful. I love that.
It is. And I'm
Yeah,
sure it deepens the connections when those
absolutely.
individuals see each other face to face, like in real life.
Most of the time, it's what you get remembered by, right?
Yes.
Ah,
Because they were like, oh yeah, she was the one who told me that she went to school with my brother, blah, 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 blah. Well, she's the one that had the twin and things like that. It's like, oh, you remember that stuff. Yes.
Yes.
yeah, because
Absolutely.
oftentimes we forget the name within
Mhm.
seconds.
Yes.
Yep.
But as soon as you start to get to that little deeper level, then it's something that sparks your curiosity and then you remember it.
Hmm.
Beautiful. Hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love, and then you can avoid making the random pop culture references, right? Oh, Heidi Klum, got it. No,
Yeah.
there's so much
Exactly.
more. There's so
Yeah.
much more.
Oh,
Well, I mean, you could say something like, "Oh, Heidi and I, we are both whatever, like earrings that are sparkly or something like that. And that, then I'm expanding it beyond that. And I love Heidi, it's great. What a cute name and what a great personality, right? Yeah. She also lives in California, I think. So we have another thing here.
You do have the commonalities there. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. And you said that this exercise is in both of your books.
Yep.
Tell us the titles of the books that you're referencing in case someone's not watching the video.
Yeah. So my first book quickly became a bestseller on Amazon, probably because of the amazing title, How to Master Your Goals.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, you're like, oh,
Everybody
I
needs
know.
that.
How do I master my goals? I can be a goal master. That sounds kind of intriguing. And then, people were immediately hooked, right?
Yes.
Which is, something I teach: pitching yourself, sales, innovation. Elevator pitches are like one of my favorite things to do. And so that hook was good. And then from there, I thought, after I wrote this book, I really want to help you. Now that you master your goals, how can you be the best version of yourself? So it's called Discover Your Superpower. And then people were like, well, you're always so organized and everything is like so lined up and everything. So then I wrote my Petite Practice planner, which also ties in with my signature trademark concept, the Petite Practice. And currently I'm writing a book that's called Step Into Your Voice, coming out on December 4th on National Cookie Day.
Okay.
Which I'm really excited about, because I feel that would be a good time when you step into your voice before you step into 2026.
Thank you for joining us today on the Reignite Resilience podcast. We hope you had some aha moments and learned a few new real-life ideas to fuel the flames of passion. Please subscribe on your favorite streaming platform, like or download your favorite episodes, and of course, share with your friends and family. We look forward to seeing you again next time on Reignite Resilience.